Turning simple written words into natural-sounding speech is called text-to-speech systems. Today, we're diving into how this works using TorchAudio, PyTorch's powerful audio library, and the pre-trained Tacotron2 model. The process unfolds in three main stages. First, pre-processing the text. Second, generating a spectrogram. And finally, converting that spectrogram into an actual audio waveform. Here's a clear diagram of the classic Tacotron2 pipeline, showing text flowing into the model to produce a Mel-Spectrogram, which then feeds into a vocoder for speech. Let's move to Google Colab and see how this works in Python. First, we need to switch the runtime to GPU for faster execution, and then we're ready to start coding. Now let's walk through this code step by step and understand what's happening behind the scenes. We start by importing PyTorch and TorchAudio. PyTorch gives us the deep learning backbone, while TorchAudio provides audio-specific utilities that integrate directly with PyTorch tensors. We also import Matplotlib for visualizations and IPython to help us play audio directly inside the notebook. Next, we print the versions of PyTorch and TorchAudio. This might look simple, but it's important for reproducibility. When working with audio models, small version changes can affect behavior, so knowing exactly which versions you're running helps keep results consistent. Then we set a manual random seed. This ensures that any random operations inside PyTorch behave the same way every time we run the notebook. Finally, we define the device. Here, we check if a GPU is available and use it if possible, otherwise, we fall back to the CPU. Let's start with text preprocessing. The input text needs to be encoded into a sequence of symbols that the model can understand. There are two common approaches, character-based and phoneme-based. In character-based encoding, we map each letter, punctuation mark, or space to a unique number from a predefined symbol table, things like lowercase letters, spaces, and common punctuation. For example, the sentence, "Hello world." Text-to-speech gets transformed into a list of indices, ignoring any unsupported characters. Character-based encoding works by establishing a symbol table that maps each character to a unique numerical index. The lowercase letters A through Z are assigned indices 0 through 25, uppercase letters A through Z receive indices 26 through 51, digits 0 through 9 map to indices 52 through 61, and common punctuation marks like spaces, periods, exclamation marks, question marks, and commas follow sequentially. When we apply this system to a phrase like, "Hello world," each character is individually converted to its corresponding index, resulting in the numerical sequence. But for even better pronunciation, especially with tricky English words, we often use phoneme-based encoding. Phonemes are the basic sounds of speech. Here, a grapheme-to-phoneme G2P converter, powered by the Deep Phonemizer library, turns the text into phoneme symbols first. TorchAudio makes this easy by bundling pre-trained processors that handle it all behind the scenes. Here we first define a string of allowed characters, including letters, spaces, and basic punctuation, which represents the vocabulary our TTS system can understand. Next, we build a lookup dictionary that maps each character to a unique integer index, which is how neural networks prefer to see text. We then convert the symbols string into a set to make character checks faster. The text_to_ sequence function takes input text, converts it to lowercase for consistency, and transforms each valid character into its corresponding numeric ID while skipping anything outside the vocabulary. Finally, we pass a sample sentence into this function and print the resulting sequence of integers, which is the encoded form of text that a TTS model can actually process. So continuing from our basic text encoding idea, here we load a ready-made Tacotron2 plus WaveRNN pipeline from TorchAudio that already knows how to handle characters and speech. From this pipeline, we extract the text processor, which is responsible for turning raw text into model-ready tensors. We then define a sample sentence and pass it through this processor, which converts each character into its learned numeric ID and also computes the sequence length. The printed tensor is the encoded text sequence the acoustic model will consume, while the length tensor simply tells the model how many valid symbols are present in this input. Building on the character-based pipeline, the next step is phoneme-based encoding, where the text is first converted into phonemes instead of raw letters, which gives the model a much clearer idea of how words should actually sound. When we first try this pipeline, we hit an error because phoneme conversion is not built into core PyTorch, so we need to install the Deep Phonemizer library to handle graphing to phoneme conversion. Once that's installed, we switch to the phoneme-based Tacotron2 plus WaveRNN bundle and get its text processor. Now, when we pass a longer sentence through the processor, it converts the text into a sequence of phoneme IDs and also returns the total sequence length. The output tensor you see is longer and denser than before because phonemes capture pronunciation details like stress and sound units, and the length value reflects how increasing the text directly increases the number of phoneme tokens the model needs to synthesize into speech. Now we move into the spectrogram generation stage, where the acoustic model actually begins to imagine sound. Here we load the Tacotron2 model from the same bundle and move it to the GPU for faster inference. Using inference mode, we again process the text into phoneme IDs, then explicitly move both the encoded text and its length tensor onto the same device as the model. When we call infer, Tacotron2 converts the symbolic phoneme sequence into a Mel-Spectrogram, which is a time-frequency representation of how the speech should sound. Finally, we visualize the first generated spectrogram using ImShow, giving us a clear visual of the model's predicted energy patterns across frequencies and time. And finally, we reach the last stage of the pipeline, where everything comes together. At this point, the vocoder takes the Mel-Spectrogram produced by Tacotron2 and converts it into a real audio waveform that we can actually hear. To save this generated speech properly, we install Torch codec, which enables audio encoding support in TorchAudio. Once the waveform is generated, we write it to a WAV file and immediately play it back inside Collab so we can listen to the result.
Text-to-speech. I'm just increasing the text size to see its effect on the final tensor out.
To make the process more intuitive, we also convert the waveform into a number py array and visualize it, showing how the raw speech signal varies over time. This final plot represents the complete journey from text, to phonemes, to spectrogram, and finally to audible human-like speech. This entire text-to-speech pipeline is trained on the LJ speech dataset, which is a high-quality single-speaker English speech corpus widely used for TTS research. It contains around 24 hours of clean, studio-recorded audio spoken by a single female speaker, paired with carefully aligned text transcripts. Because the data is consistent in voice, recording conditions, and pronunciation, models like Tacotron2 and WaveRNN can learn a stable mapping from text or phonemes to acoustic patterns without being confused by speaker variation. This makes LJ Speech an ideal benchmark dataset for understanding and demonstrating how modern neural text-to-speech systems work end-to-end. Even though this pipeline works well for educational and research purposes, it does come with some limitations. Tacotron2 relies on an attention mechanism, which can sometimes fail on long or complex sentences, leading to skipped words, repeated phrases, or incorrect pronunciations. These attention-related issues become more noticeable as input length increases. On the audio side, WaveRNN produces intelligible and natural speech, but it can sound slightly robotic or oversmoothed when compared to modern GAN-based vocoders like Hi-Fi GAN or Big V GAN. These shortcomings are exactly why newer architectures were developed, aiming for better stability, faster inference, and more natural audio quality. Another important limitation is that this pipeline is strictly single-speaker. It is trained on the LJ speech dataset, so the generated voice always sounds like the same speaker and cannot be adapted to new voices. There is no mechanism here to inject speaker identity explicitly. In contrast, modern multi-speaker and voice cloning systems introduce speaker embeddings, such as X-vectors or D-vectors, which encode a speaker's vocal characteristics into a compact representation. These embeddings allow models to synthesize speech in different voices or even clone a new voice from a short reference clip, which directly connects to the X-vector dataset we explored earlier. Finally, from a deployment and performance perspective, this pipeline is not ideal for low latency or real-time applications. Tacotron2 is autoregressive, meaning it generates spectrogram frames step by step, which increases inference time, and WaveRNN further adds computational overhead during waveform generation. While running on a GPU helps, the overall latency is still high compared to newer non-autoregressive or end-to-end models. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more tutorials. Feel free to leave comment if you have any question. Thanks for watching.